coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
This season marks a new beginning. Witness the raw power, iconic sound, and pure speed from the historic Lotus 79. Experience the competition and glory days of early 80s open-wheel action. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Drivers will face off wheel to wheel. For some, it's a chance at redemption. For others, an opportunity to make a statement. All sharing the same goal, to be crowned champion. Who will be victorious tonight? The Lionheart Retro Series presented by Butt Kicker starts now.
Say the history of this track started very ominously when CART decided to hold its inaugural event here in the Gateway to the West. Hardly anybody came. After all, the race was held on the same day as the Indy 500 and won by a driver who wishes he was at IMS, Paul Tracy. After 4 years, CART hit the eject button and the IRL stepped in, but the attendance struggled. Soon, Gateway was out like a case of Bud Light at halftime of the Super Bowl. Thankfully, Curtis Francis and Chris Blair stepped in. In 2017, this egg-shaped oval hosted one of the most exciting IndyCar races in history, and in 2018 lived up to the hype as well. Tonight, some of iRacing's best open-wheel drivers are out there to prove this track is in fact the gateway to a great race. It's round 6 of the Lionheart Retro Series presented by Butt Kicker, the Sinbad Vapors 200 from Gateway Motorsports Park, and it's next live on the iRacing Esports Network as a product of the Global SimRacing Channel. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brian Yazek, joined tonight in the booth by Jason Galvin. We're playing role reversal here for a little bit. I'm Jed Yaman in the production truck. He's calling the shots. He's running at everything, and we all got the cameras from Dougie Beard. And this is a Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Now, the Sim Experience Countdown to Green is brought to you by, you guessed it, Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering system, by providing unparalleled realism, the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS-5 seat, Stage Series motion system, and the SimVibe software, visit www.simexperience.com. Promo code for the Lionheart series and Lionheart fans, SimXLion.
We love promo codes.
We love promo codes. Jason, tell us about Gateway.
Brian, that was, first off, I must say, what an exceptional open that was. That was expertly written and delivered.
It was expertly read by me, expertly written by you.
Brian mentioned the role reversal. I got a work phone call. 10 seconds before Amjad said we're going on. Anyways, this is real work. This is why we're here. And we are at Gateway, as Brian alluded to. This is absolutely one of my favorite tracks on planet Earth. It is a 1.25 mile oval. It's similarly shaped to Motegi last week, or a lot of people compare it to Darlington, except for turns 1 and 2 are the tight corners here. 3 and 4 are nice and wide. 1 and 2 has a little more banking. You need that because you really got to find a way to carry speed through turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4, in this car especially, are flat out, wide open, mat it and go, and that's what we love about it. Let's take a look at a lap around this track with the GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Gateway Motorsports Park in the classic Lotus 79. So without further ado, here we go. Getting it wound up off of turn 4. This is where all the speed is going to be made at Gateway off of the corners, and I'll tell you how here in a second. Down the start-finish line to start your hot lap. Drive it down right about until that caution light on the wall. A little bit on the brakes, downshift it, grab 4th, and then cut to the bottom and try to drive off this corner as straight as possible, because you're going to be able to carry the most speed that you can off of that corner. Really going to set you up good in a draft coming in here to turn 3 where you can potentially make a move. Turn 3, you're not getting down into 4th gear. You're just kind of going about half throttle until about the apex of the corner and then back on it, swinging it out here wide to the wall, down the front stretch once again, off into turn 1, once again looking for that mark on the wall, getting on the brakes just a hair just to set the nose, down into 4th gear, down to the bottom, straight off of the corner, really letting this engine sing coming down the back stretch. Watch that part of the wall on the back stretch that's blown out. Down here into turn 3 once again, wide apex, lift and float, and then back onto the gas real hard from the center of the corner off, down the front stretch, and across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide here around the Gateway Motorsports Park. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
What an exquisite lap guide that was, brought to you by the friends at the Global SimRacing Channel. Oh, wait, that's us. Brian, wait, was that you on that lap guide? I couldn't hear it. Was that a Brian Yazek?
If there's a circle, if we do a broadcast where the series turns left, chances are
it's
me doing it. It's doing it, yeah. And then
excellent.
We're gonna go back and do some of the old ones and wipe those out too. So.
Gotcha. So if you've ever wondered what like a 25th place qualifying lap looked like, we just got a good look at one there. Just kidding. Brian probably would have put it on the pole with that lap, actually.
No.
Hey, let's take a no. He says. Let's take a look at the championship standings as we go into round 6 here in the Lionheart Retro Series, presented by Bud Kicker, and it is Ryan Otis on top. The comeback kid, as I'm going to start calling him this year, the Oregonian who was runner-up in the inaugural series 2 years ago and then didn't run full-time last year, leads Sage Karam by 14 points. Sage was questionable to attend tonight, but is here. He's got this pretty busy event going on right now in Indianapolis. I forget what it's called, though. George Sandman is third in points, and Paul Jenkins. Taft Baldwin, great run last week, is up to fifth. So the rest of the top 10 there. Big Joe Hassert and Mardi Gras Mall, both up 10 spots by virtue of their first and second place finishes in last week's event at Motegi. Team championship time here because we love our teams in the Lionheart Series, and they get big awards as well, and it's Raven Motorsports Black. Raven Motorsports is the defending series champion. Raven Black with Ryan Otis, James Paulson, and Dustin Wardlow have a commanding lead on the NLR Sim Racing team with Mark Cohn, Big Joe Hassert, and Finney in there. Raven Motorsports Silver holding up nicely as well, 2 points ahead of Firefly. And then iRacing today with Dalton and Mardi Gras, just two drivers hanging out there in the 5th spot. Finally got Rookie of the Year battle to look at here. And there are quite a few rookies, and you're going to laugh a little bit because, well, some of these rookies probably shouldn't be, but that's what happens when you show up for the first time in a series. Sage Karam leads Sandman, Jenkins, Baldwin, Dalton. Notice that looks a whole lot like our top 10. What is it, Brian? Like 26 drivers are new this year, something like that?
Yeah,
we should write that number down. We do this every week.
That's fun.
It's 20 plus.
Yeah, and I figured out the name of that race that Sage has up north this month. It's US 500.
Yeah. Oh, that's no, I don't think it's the US 500.
No, it's not the US 500.
No,
not at Michigan.
I think that went out of business. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jimmy Vasser's not a fan. Sage getting ready for the Indy 500, obviously, and has been in a real-life IndyCar the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And then, what do we got? Fast Friday tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they turned the boost up tomorrow with qualifying this weekend. I know I was
What do you think about that new qualifying format?
I think that I miss bump day for what it's worth. I mean, I'll probably never get that back, but
No,
I still miss bump day.
That was the thing, that was way back in the day. That's just what
right.
it did.
It's retro.
Pretty much, yeah.
The Retro Series. Hey, weather today is going to be a big deal as you get ready to qualify here at Gateway Motorsports Park, which has a new name, by the way, that I missed, and it happened like 3 weeks ago. Did you catch what that was, Yaz? It's like worldwide wireless.
Worldwide Technology Raceway Park at Gateway.
Well,
that's easy on the tongue.
Man, wow. God bless Lee Diffie when the IndyCar series gets there in real life.
Worldwide Gateway. Yep, I'm hearing it now. That's it.
Yeah, yep. Late afternoon, partly cloudy, 76. Low wind is the weather settings here as we start qualifying. And Tyler Graff, who's going to run tonight, is not running full-time in this series, I don't think, but is running tonight. Let's take a look at the series details presented by Minus 273 while qualifying gets underway here. And you see Sage Karam roll out. These cars are the Lotus L79. Brian, what does that mean?
That means they were the Formula One entry in 1979 by the Lotus company. Graham Chapman, I believe, is the name that I'm looking for there. These were the first cars to introduce the ground pounder or ground effects. So basically, what you saw on the surface wasn't necessarily the whole story when it comes to grip. So these cars have a very, very unique way of driving about them. Ground pound, yeah. Amjad's making fun of me in the chat. He's poking me with a stick. So the ground effects really let these cars have a way different feel. And a lot of these guys have driven the IR5 on in the iRacing service, then the DW12, and now the IR18. And this drives so drastically different than all of these vehicles. The biggest thing you'll notice, those big old rear wheels hanging out there as you look on the Ryan Cohen's coming off of turn 2 down that backstretch, and you really get a good visual there because of Amjad, those really small front tires. So the car is very, very easy to oversteer going into the corner. So it's very, very important to really kind of figure out, maneuver your way around. But then because these cars don't make the 700 horsepower or 600 horsepower that's out there now, they kind of stall out. At least the gearbox isn't optimized for the ovals and what we're trying to do with them. So that's where you get these big packs that we saw like last week at Motegi,
especially.
Yeah, I mean, and this is really just a smaller Motegi. Now, I don't think we're going to see the packs that we saw, but I do think you're going to get some very, very interesting drives, especially off of turn 2. That's such a crucial corner because it sets up basically the whole rest of the lap.
Yeah, for sure. I recall last year, I think the last 2 years, I spent most of my race chasing Adam Blocker, who's the only driver to win here. You're on board with Ken Hacker, the Sinbad Vapors on board. That's one of 3 on boards. Ryan Otis in the Plasma Tracks, Mark Cohn in the Minus 273. I'm sure we'll see more of them. Sinbad Vapors, the sponsor of this race today, thanks to Ken, so we appreciate that. And qualifying here is about halfway through at Gateway. But yeah, I remember the last 2 years chasing Adam around, and it was really, it's interesting. With this car, it's usually a disadvantage to be the leader. We saw that last week. We've seen it most of the weeks, unless you can run like a perfect line, like Big Joe did at the end of last week. This track, I actually thought it was beneficial to be the leader because turn 1 and 2 is so hellacious. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. 3 and 4 in the Indy car, there's a little more, I guess, tactfulness or skill that goes into it. In this car, 3 and 4, you're just wide open and you can go wherever you want. You do have to be careful not to pinch the car too much coming off because we mentioned the big tires, and if it gets light on fuel and the tires are hot, it kind of floats, and some guys do struggle with this car when it floats. Boy, Chris Walker, that's the wall. That won't help. But 1 and 2 here, because it's so difficult, you usually have to downshift. You're not necessarily on the brakes, but you're using the RPM, and we talked about the torque of this car. You're using it almost like a Jake brake in a semi, right, to try to get it to slow down and turn in 1 and 2. And it's really, really, I think, beneficial to be the leader here. I remember having a really difficult time getting around Adam the last couple of years, and he's hard enough to pass on a normal night.
Yeah, and we saw it a couple times last week where, guys are getting real loose in the corner here. Gateway is no different from any of that. I know I personally had my misfortune here in the Retro Series last year, right up there in turn 1 and 2, and the car just lost it on me.
Yeah.
I was trying to go down. I think I was probably trying to pass blocker now that I think about it. It just got down there in that really low spot, and the car just snapped. I mean, so that's the thing. We saw it last week. Maybe guys, maybe sharing some intel across the board, like, hey, maybe at some point we might want to take tires, like, I don't know, some baritone, bearded, balded broadcaster had mentioned at one point last week, but maybe eventually they get it all sorted out.
I don't know. You know me, I'm on team no tire, but it's totally a preference thing too, right? Like some
at
guys,
at least once.
Yeah, and I don't hate your idea behind that either. Especially on the first stop, I guess, the first fuel stint. And speaking of which, here we're told that the most laps you can run on fuel is 46 to 47. An odd number of laps again, just like Motegi, because of the distance of the track. So it's 200 miles, but 160 laps. And so 46 to 47 means that you're going to need 3 stops no matter what. And so that's going to be something to keep an eye on here. As well as qualifying is complete, Yaz. And why don't we get to the qualifying results that are presented by our series sponsor and friends.
Look at that!
Kicker. And look at that. 2 weeks in a row. George Anzaldo is your pole sitter.
He's going to have a lot of pride putting those P1 stickers on that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, George Anzaldo, Ryan Otis, front row. Joshua Gaiman, Dustin Wardlow, row 2. Justin Kirby, Chris Lonini in row 3. Ryan Corns, Mike Rigney, Cody Eldred, and Scott Holmes round out your top 10, yes?
In the 11th spot is the Mark Cohn, the Watchman. In with JP Winchettle. I'm going to try and collect myself here.
You want me to take over?
Yeah, no, I got lost there for a moment. David Clymer, 14th, with Paul Jenkins in the 15th spot. Ron Hacker, 16th. David Altman, 17th. Sage Karam, a name that some of you guys know, out there in the 18th spot with George Enter Sandman. Indeed, Marty Grubmall rounding out row 10.
On to row number 11, and it's Ken Hacker, the race sponsor, and Pat Dotson, his second start in the Retro Series. Adam Young, Frank Beeser in row 12, then James Paulson, Tyler Graff, Tyson Landis, and Big Joe Hassert. Amjad, I'll make your job really easy. We're going to go on board with him for the first 20 laps, okay? No question.
Focus on that car.
Robert Bluin is the last car to take a lap, and then how about, Lionel Callisto did not get a lap in. He will start way back in 30th. So maybe swap between Big Joe and Lionel for the first 20 laps.
Little train into the Big Joe show. I mean, that's going to be a good show going on there.
Finian, DeChuna, Eric Block, Travis Yeager-Lenner at the back of the pack there, as well as Chris Walker, as we are waiting for everybody to grid.
Got 34 Lotus 79 machines out there on the Gateway Motorsports Park tonight. Look at that beautiful view. I think we're going to, and it's going to transition too with the way that this setup or the Dynamic Sky is set. We are going to transition, so these guys are going to have to deal with that switch from the day to the night in these cars. Now, in the Lotus, it might not be too much of a big deal, but still something that's going to be worth factoring in. Plus, hey, it's going to look real pretty on the broadcast too.
Sure is. Hey, just one pace lap here. Just so that we all know, this is another one of those tracks. It's kind of a short track, but you get just one pace lap. So it'll be quick way around, and we will be ready to go in the Lionheart Retro Series presented by Butt Kicker. George Anzaldo, Ryan Otis. That is your front row. Anzaldo on the pole for the second week in a row, and he is on the pedal right away. Green flag in the air. This Sinbad Vapors 200 at Gateway Motorsports Park, and Anzaldo is all clear into turn 1. It's a battle for second with Otis and Gaiman as they get single file. Wardlow as well. Right away, the car's up front saying we want nothing to do with side by side, but a battle for the lead. Otis and the yellow's out.
Caution already. It's off of turn 2. Put it out for the number 97 machine. Little Train. And Little Train. That train has come off the tracks, and he got a little bit of help. I'm going to say, actually, he got a lot of bit of help.
Oh, poor Lionel. And that's what happened when you start at the back, unfortunately.
Car's cat, it's driving all cattywampus coming through there. I mean, I don't know which way to call this one. Race control's
on
getting
board with
sorted
Robert
out.
Balloon again.
I'm glad I'm not the one that's got to make that call. I mean, he's at the bottom and then.
I mean, Robert's kind of there. I mean,
very there.
Yeah, it's almost like Lionel just maybe didn't think he would still be there. I'm not sure. What a tough break that is for Lionel.
Yeah.
He was one of the dominant cars last week, and was involved in that wreck. David Altman and George Anzaldo at the end of the race last week, our final caution, and he just kind of didn't. David, I don't think, knew that they were 3 wide and squeezed them, and Lionel and George went for a ride as a result. This week, Lionel doesn't get to turn 3. Heck, he barely made it to turn 2.
Yeah, he's just kind of that wraps up his whole season in a nutshell so far. Just the old cliche. If he wouldn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all this season. So really, when it breaks down, it's just an unfortunate start. But we still got a couple of races here. Throughout the year, we got let's say we're on 6 of 19, I believe, right?
6. We are on 6 of 18.
6 of 18. Okay, so still got 13 races to make a comeback.
And drop weeks, of course.
Drop weeks. Now, he's probably exhausted those. Let's face that one. He's probably pulled those out of the hat. As we go riding on board with Ryan Otis there in the plasma-tracks.com machine. Look at that beautiful Midwestern sunset here at the Gateway Motorsports Park, or the Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. That's going to be a mouthful to say. Yeah, you're right. Now I can't wait for Lee Diffie to get here, or Paul Tracy just to give up on it.
This is, until iRacing says otherwise, this is Gateway Motorsports Park.
And really, like I said,
making the executive decision.
There you go. And I think Paul Tracy would just give up. He'd try saying Worldwide Technology, and then he'd just say, well, the track.
I love Paul Tracy, but there's a lot of things. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a lot of things.
Yep. Lights are out on the Mustang. That's good.
That's also in Paul Tracy's mind sometimes.
Leader, when the caution came out, by the way, was Anzaldo. And it was not going to be for long, so he got kind of fortunate there. Ryan Otis was coming through. Well, you get a good look. If you ever get an aerial here, which is pretty cool. iRacing, of course, they do such a great job scanning the track. You can just see the cool go-kart track that's in the infield here. I know some friends who've been back here and raced. That is one of the coolest go-kart tracks.
Look at that right there, the real wide shot here in the GSRC chopper. You see the traffic coming on the road back there.
Oh,
pretty
man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fields up, though, in turn 3 and 4. This is where traffic's going to get real interesting here,
Yeah,
Jason.
no, wait till we get to turn 1, then you want to see traffic. George Anzaldo, look at him way up there against the wall to get a nice big straight run off, and he's right back on the gas. Lap 4 coming to 5. Green flag in the air of the starter. And George Anzaldo will field them down into turn 1 with Ryan Otis and Joshua Gaiman in tow. They all got a little bit of a jump on Dustin Wardlow. Anzaldo choosing to run right down there on the bottom. He's going to keep Otis at bay, it looks like, but Wardlow powers off a 1 and 2, bringing Kirby with him inside of Gaiman. Up into the 3rd spot goes the Candyman.
Good. Another driver you talk about just with bad luck this season. Dustin Wardlow, right place, wrong time, many times this season. So for him getting a good move there, and now Gaiman's fighting back on the inside as well. Now down here in 1 and 2, I believe Wardlow, and there you see it right there. Yep. He's just going to motor away. That top lane is just—it's almost impassable. If you're up there, like, it's game over.
Yeah, well, you have so much more momentum up there. The car just bogs down on the bottom. Ryan Otis trying to use the outside to get a run on Anzaldo here, and we'll see what George does. George going to keep it up top at the stripe. Still Anzaldo the leader. Otis will nose ahead into 1. See if George can stay on the pedal and beat him out of the corner. He sure can. Oh. Nice job of driving there by the series founder, Anzaldo. But Otis, look at that. Ryan Otis able to stay with him. He's going to keep a nose on Anzaldo into 3. No, George shuts the door.
Not going to quite get there. You really got to get like where Otis was, you kind of have to be right up on the tires of the guy on the top side. That way you can at least try and match that run off the corner and set that run up into 3, because now Otis is falling back into Wardlow. There you see 3 different ways around here. George went all the way to the bottom. Otis kind of shot the bottom-ish lane, and Wardlow was up top.
Bottom-ish. I like
bottom-ish, you know.
I kind of always found my sweet spot was about a half a car off the bottom, if you had your perfect shot at it, so to speak.
I'll tell you, when we focus on this corner, I'll tell you my sweet spot. It's in between the seam. See that kind of right about there? Like right about where Wardlow was running. That's about where I like running. Because you got the car low down enough. You got it low so you can really build that momentum off a corner exit.
Top
then again,
4 or 5 cars.
I haven't finished the last 2 years at Gateway here. So don't take my advice with a grain of salt.
10-4, duly noted. Why are you the analyst tonight?
I don't know. That's just what I do. And see, now you critique me, and now no one talks. That's how that happens.
No, I'm just, come on. Hey, sometimes you just got to let the fans enjoy the race.
That's true. Paint the picture. Enhance the picture. You don't have to paint it. They can see the picture.
George Anzaldo, the leader of all 11 laps, his first laps led in his career here at Gateway Motorsports Park in the Retro Series. Interestingly enough, we mentioned Adam Blocker, who's literally just been dominant here. 126 laps led in his 2 wins. And that included 123 last year, so he took the lead late in Season 1, I guess. Ryan Otis actually led 55 laps, which was a race high in the first season here. Now, that was when it was a 120-lap race, 150 miles. They added 50 more miles last year. Otis, I don't believe, even started that race last year. I'd have to double-check on that real quick. But as a result, it is Adam Blocker who holds most of the race records, laps led records, etc.
And also, a quick footnote, we don't have to jump around the cameras on it. Under that first caution, Big Joe, Chris Walker, Finian, Robert Bluen, Tyler Graff, Travis Jaegerliner, I almost said the other word I wanted to say, but Adam Young all hit pit road. 2 laps of fuel, not going to help a whole lot, but, with the way that pitting here is so, the chance of opportunity for something to go wrong is pretty high. So
yes.
You get that extra lap, maybe it could pay off. Especially, if you're in the back anyway. Joe's up to 24th from 28th spot, for example. Chris Walker up to 26th from 34th. Right now, Hard Charger Awards. I should have researched this before I said it. What was that?
Battle for the lead.
Oh, yeah, battle for the lead right
Ryan
there.
Otis gets around George Anzaldo. First lead change comes as we turn it over to lap 15. It is Otis to the front to lead his 56th career lap at Gateway, and he is trying to bring Dustin Wardlow with him. Wardlow, interestingly enough, has not led a lap here either, and he's usually very good on these types of trouble. He's good in this car in general, but the winner at New Hampshire last year, which a lot of people would say turns 1 and 2 are very similar to New Hampshire in this race car. And here comes Wardlow inside of his teammate Anzaldo, so we'll see how nice they play here. It's also side-by-side between Gaiman and Rigney is what you see back there. Pardon me. Yeah, that is Gaiman and Rigney that you see side-by-side for the 5th and 6th spots right now.
And George still sticking with that bottom lane down there in 1 and 2 as well. We're kind of keeping an eye on to see how that filters out, but Wardlow, he's going to try that bottom in 3 and 4. That's definitely the preferred passing lane. He's going to get quite clear.
I almost wonder if Wardlow's fighting a little bit of aero push with Otis coming down like that in 3 and 4, because he didn't quite get the run I was expecting.
He's trying to get it back down in there that time, but George is going to fight back on the top side, and he's going to get that draft. He's also going to bring Justin Kirby up there as well.
Ryan Otis right now has to love this, and he's playing it perfect. He's kind of bouncing around, and that's one of the nice things about being the leader in this car. While you do punch a big hole in the air, If you get at a track like this where you can keep a little bit of distance, you can also kind of drive by your mirror and pick and choose who you want to bring and where on the track. So if you feel like one driver is stronger than the other, you can almost dictate who runs in the second position so that the car that you think is stronger cannot make a run on you.
Yeah, pretty solid strategy. I mean, you saw it a lot in the older days of plate racing on the Cup Series. Kind of just riding the lanes and seeing where the momentum is and where the shoves are coming from. I mean, not necessarily shoves in the Lotus car, but you can see, kind of control what's going on behind you.
There's a few guys in this series who have tried to shove in the Lotus. Generally unsuccessful. Battle for 8th position. 8th
spot. Yeah, I've been kind of keeping an eye on it here this last few laps. Lanini was kind of walking away from it, but now Ryan Cones took over the spot from Mark Cohn. As you see the minus 273 onboard cam above the helmet there of Mark Cohn. Getting a good run off of turn 4. Going to try to get up the front stretch. Not going to quite get there. Poke the nose out a little bit. Try sending it into the corner. There you go, Mark. Get that. Not quite enough momentum, though.
Mark Cohn and that Sam Maxwell Customs Harpoon design car, the winner. 2 races ago at iRacing.
Give him some room there, boys. And Cohn got a great run into the corner. It's just the way it washed out in the middle. He just couldn't quite get the power to stick from the corner exit. Now he's going in there side by side with the 28 machine. See if it works this time. Not quite enough just yet. Top lane's going to prevail. But look, just back there, that camera shot, that orange, white, and purple. I called it the sherbet colored machine. There you see it. Sage Karam back there from the 18th starting spot, right out there, just outside the top 10.
Sage right now up 6 spots is our second biggest mover. Chris Walker's up 9. Although Chris Walker had literally nowhere to go but up. He started dead last. Still, he's up 9 spots with a pit stop.
Soup would say that doesn't count.
Because you start dead last?
Yep.
What if you win the race from dead last? Does that count?
Soup would probably still find a way to give you grief in the post.
Soup would find a way to give me grief. No matter. Sage Karam making a move for a position. He couldn't make it work. He is working on Cody Eldred in that black and what are we calling that? Yes. Highlighter?
I'm going to say tennis ball yellow.
I like it. Yeah. The Wilson car. All right. Boy, we're handing that. See, we're catching on to the soup deal. Got Mardi Gras Mole. Now we got Wilson Eldred. This is good.
Somewhere Tom Hanks just picked his head up.
All right. Wardlow for second. He's going to get Inzaldo this time. So move Dustin Wardlow up to P2. And that's probably a good thing for Wardlow because he's been crashed out of P3 2 races in a row. We're running around there going, man, I got to get out of this spot.
I heard he was negotiating with the Target for maybe some new sponsorship.
Oh, man.
He's already a bullseye for everything this year.
Yeah, well, his problem is that he hasn't been a bullseye. He's just had nowhere to go. What would we call that? Like
magnet?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's found him. That's 3M. Just the unfortunate part. Yeah.
Yeah, 3M sponsorship coming his way. Yeah, I wonder if Greg Biffle wants to give that. Does Greg Biffle still have that? Greg Biffle's not racing, so he can't.
No, but he's going to be racing that truck for Kyle Busch at Texas.
Oh, that's right. Watch him win
just
that
randomly.
Race. Yeah, well, hey, why not?
Why not?
But Brian, for $175,000, you too can randomly race Kyle Busch's truck.
I'm only $174,999 short.
That's not too bad. You are the bank. Technical difficulties, and we're back just in time to see Mike Rigney and Josh Gaiman and Chris Lanini.
Oh, big problem.
We got a wreck.
Sage Karam again put it out. Oh, and he's going to collect a couple other ones. Hold the brake, Sage. Hold the brake. You got somebody else rolling backwards that way.
Boy, this has been a forgettable couple of weeks for poor Sage. He's going to lose it all on his own.
I mean, he's been doing the yeoman's effort. He's been racing out of other people that have been letting him run in their rigs. You know, because like we said, he's up in Indianapolis right now this month, and people he brought a computer with him. That's why he had to drive from Pennsylvania to Indy. And then I guess there's someone else was letting him run at the spot.
He ran at Gabby Chavez's house one night. I know that. Did he catch anybody else? Yes.
There's a black and red card down there.
There it is.
On Ken Hacker.
Oh, Ken.
Thought he caught somebody. I just couldn't tell who.
The Sinbad Vapors entry is out.
Oh.
That hurt. Pit stops. Lap 28. So Sage Karam and Ken Hacker's night's likely both over. I tell you, Ken's is over. I'm guessing Sage's as well.
I'm going to guess that. Yeah, that's probably a solid option. Sage is bringing it back to the pits, though.
A couple cars stayed out. Mardi Gras still out. Chad Dalton is still out.
Tyler Graff, Adam Young.
Now, Tyler Graff and Adam Young have both pit already. Mardi Gras and Dalton have not.
I mean, if we use that window, what did we say, 48 laps on fuel?
Double check here. Go to the handy Lionheart Media Guide, and it is 46 to 47.
So I would say with the cautions, they could probably get to 50. They've run 30 right now. Chad Dalton, Dean Mardi Gras Mall. Tyler Graff and Adam Young have run 28. So,
by the way, for what it's worth, Sage Karam, Ken Hacker both out of the race, have both retired. And you're doing the math there real quick, Yaz, and I think where this makes sense. I think where this makes sense is, well, no, you remember everybody was going to be 25 to 30 short, even if they ran the distance. You were going to run 47 and 47 puts you at 94, and you needed to get to 160, so you throw another 47 in there. So this is, right now, we're kind of in the window, I think. It's close. It's still, I think you're still a little short, but at this point, I think everybody's banking on, we're going to have one more caution, right?
So what Chad, Dean, Tyler, and Adam are all banking on, run this thing out, just let it run green?
I would think so, yeah. Yeah, because Tyler and Adam have both hit pit road, but they hit pit road on lap 2.
Yeah, and Tyler's
so
part
the
time
difference
in
is
the series, so he's got nothing to lose. Take a gamble at it, see what happens.
Is Pat Dotson out there too? No. Okay, Pat Dotson just cycled to the front on our scoring. I think that's a scoring. So
yeah. I
showed Chad Dalton's the leader, then Mardi Gras, Tyler Graff, Adam Young, and then Ryan Otis is your first car who pit.
Matching what I see.
Still got at least one more lap to go here.
Someone's on pit. I think Adam has decided to immediately give up the gamble. I think Adam was going for a lap lead, and then everybody else stayed out in front of him and went, well, that blew.
Yeah, Tyler
now
Graff.
Adam.
I want the bonus. Even though I'm not running full time.
Well, it's really just so we can say, look at this, Tyler Graff.
Man, lights are out. Hopefully Yaz's mic is cut off.
Nope, still working.
Here's my fit, by the way. This is funny. Taft Baldwin is typing in the league Discord chat while pacing right now. Which is kind of fun. Kid there. He's having there. He and David Cordy, who's the race admin, are having a conversation with Sage Karam, who says he's now part-time the rest of the year. And by the way, is Taft Taft's not racing? I just realized that. Yeah.
Well, that'll explain that.
Yeah. My bad. Boy, Taft Baldwin, you picked a bad race to miss. I should pay more attention to that. Okay, so now, although I think I just saw Adam Young pop up, so that would be funny, because he's definitely racing, as established. Anyways, David Cordy just told that Sage Karam that his seats are in turn 2, so Sage has 200 chances to wave at him during the Indy 500. I bet if Sage wins the Indy 500, he'll park it in turn 2 and wave at Cordy.
I bet you every dime I got that ain't happening.
That he's winning or he's waving at Cordy.
Cordy.
Green flag coming back out. Sage pretty good at that track. Get some good luck. I think he'll be all right, I think. Chad Dalton's going to lead him back to the green. We're pulling for him if you're watching, Sage. Sorry about your luck tonight. But now you can focus on the rest of the month of May and hopefully bringing home that Borg Warners. Chad Dalton leads them through turns 1 and 2 with Marty Graf and Ryan Otis up there in 4th. The Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, that Dwarves Candy entry, is in the 5th spot. Really hoping that we finish in time for me to go to Dwarves. I'm feeling some ice cream tonight, guys.
You
Wanna
know,
go with me?
I could get on the plane and make it happen. My wife and I were talking about how we don't have a good ice cream jack anywhere near us.
Oh man, you don't know what you're missing.
He brings out the candy to the Iowa meetup, and that's
He does bring the chews. Yes, I have been the benefactor of that friendship more than once.
My wife and I were discussing a trip out that way in the spring.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Why not? Yeah. You got a place to stay, that's for sure.
All right, copy that.
Maybe 2. Hey, here comes
for horses.
The battle for the lead, I think. Dean
Look at
Walsh, Chad Dalton.
Yeah, and Ryan Otis is just kind of hanging back there. He got a good run on Tyler Graf there. And then just kind of just filtered out a little bit, maybe some aero wash. Maybe Otis is probably playing the long game because he knows these guys in front of him are only going to be on track and in front of him for probably another 15 laps.
This could also be a fuel thing as well because light fuel is going to make it easier for those first couple cars to get through turns 1 and 2. They're going to rotate better. They're going to be able to carry a little more speed, and that's going to make it harder for the heavy fuel cars, I think, to reel them in going down the straightaway. So, there is a big fuel gap right now.
Well, there is, and I felt that fuel gap, but at the same time, the fastest car on track last time was George Anzaldo at a 28.87 versus Chad Dalton running a 28.94. So draft versus low fuel, I think that's kind of the rebuttal there.
28.87 is was the fastest lap last time. The fastest lap of the race is a 28.645 by Chris Walker. And if anybody is curious, the track lap record for this facility in a race is a 28.356. So right now they're about 0.3 off even the fastest car, the all-time race lap record, and that is 0.2 of a second even better than what was the qualifying record. And I don't believe George Anzaldo broke the qualifying record. In fact, he, as I take a look here, did not. He was about 0.2 off. So it looks like this setup in general from last year, and it's probably not the setup, it's probably got more to do with the weather, is about 0.1 to 0.2 off of last year. So although to be interesting, as you mentioned, Yaz, when the sun goes down here completely and the track cools off, to see how that might play out as we got a battle for third.
Yeah, the shadows are starting to get longer down the front stretch as Ryan Otis is trying to make that run on Tyler Graf on the inside. Not going to quite work. And now Dustin Wardlow up there going to get the little bit of a sniff of a draft off of Tyler. And then Tyler's going to come back down here to the bottom and wash out 95, which is going to let the 9 probably get a good run down the front stretch here with when Tyler slides back up to the top side. So give that position temporarily to Dustin Wardlow here.
These are teammates, and one is the championship leader in Otis. The other is Wardlow, who right now has basically shut off the points racing nozzle in his brain because of the way he was wrecked out at Sebring, he was wrecked out at ISM, and he was wrecked out at Motegi. None of it was his fault. He was running in the top 5 all 3 times. As a result, the Candyman sits way down in 13th in points. With just 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s this year. And I can tell you right now, the only thought going through his mind is win races, because at this point, running around in 5th or 6th every week is not going to help with Otis and Sage.
Listen to this, though. Who can make a comeback? The Candyman can. See, you were talking, and I was planning that out in my mind.
I dig it. I like it. That was good.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a battle for 10th. Josh Gaiman right there, side by side. Got a good battle going on with Mike Rigney.
Gaiman gonna take the position away. No, you're gonna defend the position that time. Getting that good run from the top side, but just like kind of what we've been talking about all night, Rigney's gonna get that run and that big draft down the backstretch, and that's gonna let him pull up down going into turn 3. Then coming off of turn 4, you try and set this up just a little bit again. I mean, Wardlow kind of worked it at Wardlow and Otis actually at the beginning of the race really worked it to perfection. Kind of how you were passing people. So seeing Rigney trying to get that run back, and he's going to get a good run off of turn 2, revving the motor out there in 3rd gear. Come on, there you go. Shift it to 4th and pull out there, Rigney. He's trying to grenade that motor, I think.
He's trying to do the Big Joe celebration, but on lap 43.
Yeah, speaking of Big Joe, last week's winner up to 23rd.
Taking his time.
You got that.
Patience is of the virtue. Chad Dalton, you're not missing much out front as you look at Big Joe. Chad Dalton continues to lead. Big Joe Hassert, mentioned, started 28th, sits in 23rd right now.
Oh, no!
Frank Beeser.
Oh, Frank.
Pushed up.
Put
Get another look at it here.
it out. Amjad shouting in the microphone there was the kind of precursor that something was about to go bad.
Amjad was the big yell. I mean, we're missing Yazek screaming, "Put it out!"
We're trying to.
We got to remember that Amjad's not on air. I turned over a new leaf. Here's another look at it. Boy, Frank he just had a wrong trajectory out of the corner. I don't think he was expecting Joe to be there. That's going to be on Frank, although no harm, no foul, it looks like. I don't think it hurt either car.
Now Chad Dalton and Mardi Gras are going to be pitting. Tyler Graff staying out. Which at the end of that fuel run, that's going to be a bold strategy.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, I mean, if he's playing, I think you got to play the long game here, and I think that's what Tyler's kind of forced himself into. He can't really alternate strategy now.
There are a couple of cars at the back of the pack that have also hit pit road here. Quite a few, in fact. Robert Bluen, Finney Tuna, Big Joe.
Landis, Jaegerliner.
Eric Block, it looked like, as well. So pit stops complete for a couple of cars up front, most of the cars at the back. Tyler Graff cycles around to the lead ahead of Dustin Wardlow and Ryan Otis, and we will take a break. You're watching the Sinbad Vapors 200, part of the Lionheart Retro Series, presented by Butt Kicker on the iRacing Esports Network.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
1 lap till we go green in the Sinbad Vapors 200, working lap 48 on the iRacing Esports Network. I'm Jason Galvin. The banker, Brian Yazik, next to me, and you're looking at Ron Hacker, currently running in the 15th position, up 1 spot from where he started. He is your driver profile for this week. Ron making his 29th start in the Lionheart Retro Series presented by Butt Kicker. Does not have a win, 2 top 5s, those 6 top 10s. His first start was Homestead Season 1. His best finish was 4th. Best championship finish was 16th. Driver profile brought to you by our good friends at Sim Experience. The Sim Experience AccuForce Pro V2 complete, the premier professional racing simulation steering system. For more info on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including the GS5 seat, the Stage Series motion systems, and the SimVibe software, visit simexperience.com. And you also get yourself a nice little discount with Sim Experience on that SimVibe software as well. If you use the promo code SimXLion. Pace car is off. Yes, they're coming back to the green, and out in front, it is the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, bringing it
actually in second,
right behind Tyler Graff, who stayed out. I thought Graff pitted for some reason. That's my fault. I'm trying to shortcut Tyler here. Tyler Graff actually just proven me wrong. He's like, I'm going to check out. Bye. Leaving Dustin Wardlow behind.
He's only got probably underneath 10 laps of fuel and left in that machine. So might be playing the long game. We were kind of talking off air that that might be the play here. Just stick to what's working for you. And then to kind of add insult to injury to Frank Bieser's night, Race Control just came over to the chat and said, drive-through penalty for avoidable contact in the 32 machines.
And that will 100% lose you a lap here, I believe.
Yep.
Just because of how long the pit road is. You have to go down the access road. That was one of the things Yazik and I, we started to kind of allude to it on that first caution. We never really finished our thought, but the issues pit road can cause you here because you have that access road that you have to take to get on. Under yellow, you have a lot of situations we've seen in the past, Brian, when we've been on track where drivers will start to accelerate and they'll actually pass the cars on the outside, and it will get them a penalty.
Speaking of passing, look out front. Dustin Wardlow, the Candyman, going to take it to Tyler Graff going into turn 3.
Candyman to the front. Tyler's going to slide into P2. Is Frank Bieser pitted on pit road? He is. Frank took full advantage of his drive-through. He drove through, and then he stopped and got an ice cream cone from his crew chief.
Yeah, open cockpit car, just reach right in there.
Right, yeah. Eating ice cream.
Right, that's the best way to do it.
Wardlow, Graff, Otis, Mark Cohn. Those are the 4 cars out in front, kind of breaking away right now from George Enzaldo, the pole sitter, who's fallen back to P5. Really confused. I thought Frank Bieser just served his drive-through.
Yeah, and they're calling it again. Did he hit somebody again?
I don't think so. I honestly just asked if he stopped. If that's the rule, that would be news to me, because in professional racing, if you get a drive-through, you're allowed to stop. I mean, you're already down there.
No,
Aren't
not
you?
usually.
No. I don't know.
You get a drive-through. You got a drive-through. It's a penalty. So therefore, if you hit...
Well, Frank didn't get the memo because he just pulled into his stall again.
I mean, I'd just say sympathy at this point. Just call it good. Poor Frank. Victor's really confused. Anyways, look at that. P3, Mark Cohn up there fighting Ryan Otis. 2 guys that have had a very, very strong early start to their season.
Frank pulled out again, so this could be... I'm just warning you, this could be interesting. Poor Frank. I hope somebody's explaining that to him. Cohn inside of Otis here. Tyler Graff doing a nice job kind of hanging up there, mixing things up with these 3 cars.
That lighter fuel is probably helping out here a little bit.
Definitely. Justin Kirby got around Enzaldo into P5. No other real battle on the track right now. I will warn you, though, we're about to have a lap traffic problem as Frank Bieser is now right in front of the leaders.
He's got a little bit of a gap there, but
the gap's going to close pretty quick, yes.
Martin Truex might find a problem with that
gap. Frank's back on pit road again.
All right. I
don't know.
I think it's got plenty of fuel, Frank. Unless he might
Richie,
unless he's just deciding to pull it down and park. Now there's an interesting move down the front stretch. Otis and Wardlow being teammates. Wardlow has the lead, pulls down in front of Otis to get the draft down the front stretch, but it just didn't quite work going into the corner.
Ryan Otis reached out and stuck a Raven Motorsports sticker on the back of Tyler Graff's car going for
Pretty much could have.
Boy, Mark Cohn just got the door shut. Otis is not a very aggressive driver, but that was absolute slamming.
Which is now going to let Kirby catch up on the backside there. And meanwhile, back out front, Tyler Graff not giving up. He's trying to get that lead away from Dustin Wardlow. Frank cycled back out, unfortunately 3 laps down. Now he's right further ahead of the lead.
Yeah, he picked up 10 car lengths. Maybe that was his strategy. Like, I'm going to get out of the way by coming down pit road. I don't know at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dustin Wardlow leading his first laps in the Retro Series at Gateway right now.
Tyler Graff pit road. Oh, and as he's pitting, Justin Kirby spins. Oh, no. Tyler's going to have to make an aggressive maneuver here.
Yeah, he's going to get stuck with a penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something we've talked about. It'll be interesting to see how the admins handle this, because we've discussed this exact situation with if you're committed to pit road already and if you just drive through, like in real life, them waving it. Now, Tyler, maybe he has to take fuel, so he's got to pull in anyways. But at a track like this, we've had that talk about, like, well, too bad. But at a track like this, you commit in turn 3. That's pretty difficult. And boy, Kirby just too much rotation on the wheel.
Was that the caution?
That was the caution, I think.
Because the car got sideways?
I wonder if race control threw that.
Nope.
I'm curious.
It would say in the chat right there.
That's true. That's true. It would. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I didn't see anything else. Did you?
I'm gonna go take a deeper dive, but.
All right, you take a deeper dive. I'll take a look at pit road, because most of the leaders are on to pit road as we work lap 60. Now, this really puts us teetering on the border of the window. If you can go 47 laps, it means that you're about 6 or 7 short. You've got some caution laps here for the rest of this run. So in reality, you probably need 2 more total cautions for the rest of this race to make it a one-stopper. Everybody's in. I don't see anybody really taking tires. The first one is Inzaldo. George taking tires. Wardlow will beat Otis. Here comes Cone. Battle off of pit road is going to be for P4, 5, and 6. And it's Rigney over Kirby and then Anzaldo. And I wonder if Kirby was the true cause for the caution.
The only thing I could find, I mean, when I focus on the pace car, and then the second the lights come on, I pause the replay and I scan around the track. And the only thing was the tire smoke from Kirby. So there's no sense of sugarcoating it. That's a weak caution.
For sure.
Tyler's going to come back down pit road.
I'm going to go double check on this here.
I'm going to bet that might be a self penalty or something of that variety, because had he stayed out, he would have cycled back around to P3, which would have given him a fairly huge advantage from where he was at, because he wasn't going to cycle back out there. Now, I don't know. I've really never been in that spot, so he's going to come back in and top it off with fuel, I guess, for the moment. Out front, do have a little bit of changeover. Scott Holmes up front there in the number 67 machine, staying out. Ryan Cones in the third spot. David Altman in the third spot. Dean Mardi Gras Mal fourth. Eric Block in fifth. Big Joe Hassrick there in sixth. Chad Dalton seventh. And Finian Decana in the 8th spot. And then you get into Wardlow, Otis, and Cone.
Official award from race directors Pierre Dagley and David Cordy. Caution for Justin Kirby's self-spin. It was sim
Tokyo
thrown.
Drift.
Yeah, sim thrown, Justin Kirby caution. No penalty for Kirby on that one. Tyler Graff has an end of longest line penalty, so he's probably just topping it off. That was also sim thrown for entering a closed pit. As you know, Yaz, the one thing on iRacing that I think a lot of us wish we had a way to fix is even when you clear a black flag for end of longest line, sim still sticks you at the end of the longest line.
Rules and limitations of what we got. I mean, we all know.
If that's my biggest complaint about what iRacing has given us in, 12 years now, then that ought to tell you how good the product is. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
James Paulson apparently dropped out, by the way, very recently.
He's on pit road when I last saw.
So I wonder if is he out and back in already, then is my question.
No, it dropped, and then, because what I saw him was I was watching Tyler come around to pit road. When he left pit road, he pitted around the 30 machine of James Paulson.
Paulson I'm not showing him presently on track.
No, he was on pit road, and then it dropped.
That was a connection issue. So he is currently out. The lights are out. The pace car is off. We're ready to go back racing. And the green flag is back out in the Sinbad Vapors 200 with Scotty Holmes leading for the first time in his Gateway career out in front. And boy, did he get a big jump on Ryan Corns, David Altman, Marty Gras, and Eric Block are your top 5 as they roar down the back straight.
I mean, that might even be in his Lionheart career period, with Scott Holmes leading the race right now. Have to get someone to Sherlock us that one.
That is Scott Holmes' first career lap led, indeed.
There we go. Battle for the 4th spot. D. Mardi Gras Mall has it. Eric Block wants it. That green and blue and multicolored machine. You see right in front of him, though, David Altman and Ryan Corns fighting over for the 2nd spot.
I'm going to go ahead and call Eric Block the Hulk. That's what that car reminds me of.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Bana or...
No. Does anybody remember Eric Bana as the Hulk? Did that actually happen?
Yeah, I think it did.
Unfortunately. Up front, 2nd spot there. You see Ryan Corns, David Altman, and Altman has moved up into P2. David Altman has had an interesting last couple of weeks, to say the least. Was in a position to win at ISM. Spun out of the lead. Was in a position to battle for a win last week at Motegi and clipped Lionel and caused the final caution of the race. So he has definitely proven that he can run up front. The problem has been finishing up front. See if Altman can turn his luck around here this week. Done a nice job pulling away from Corns and Dean Mall as well.
Absolutely. Coming around on lap 67. We're gonna complete 67, going to 68.
By the way, look at the end of that first little lead group of cars there. How about Big Joe Hassert? Now, I know you did it with track position and cautions, but he's up to P6, and he's all over the back of Eric Block now, kind of searching around. So Big Joe decides that he's going to play the strategy game a little bit, and I don't totally hate that, yeah?
No, absolutely not. He's going to be up there, second most fuel, basically. So he and Dean Mall are on the same strategy. They've got 23,
along with Finian and Chad.
Correct. Whereas Scott Holmes, David Altman, Ryan Corns, and Eric Block, they're all going to be into pit road in about 10 to 12 laps.
And here's where the Big Joe deal kind of works out, because at this point, nobody can make it on just one more stop. Even the cars that just pit are going to need probably 6 more caution laps as Big Joe looks inside of Eric Block down the front straight here. So at this point, Big Joe's kind of in the driver's seat. That strategy is in the driver's seat.
Well, wouldn't you say, though? I mean, they're at 91 to go right now. So if you split that in half, it's 45 and 45. So technically the window opens to one stop it from the next time around. So yeah, you're right. This is kind of an interesting ploy of things. But, Scott Holmes, Altman, Corns, I think those guys are going to be in a pretty good spot, too, if this race runs green. As there you see Altman battling for Holmes for the lead. Give it to Altman now. Good move going down there into turn one.
That's the first time we've seen anybody take the lead on the inside of turn 1 and 2. It's David Altman on lap 71 around Scott Holmes, and it immediately opens up 2-3 car length gap as they come up off of turn 3. David Altman to the point for the first time at Gateway.
And David, he loves running in this series too. He loves running Lionheart. You see him on social media every week, plugging the series, plugging the league. Just a great guy. So good to see a little bit of success trickling his way as well. Big Joe trying to take the spot away from Eric Block back here in the battle for the 5th position. To try and get the run down, not going to quite get him clear. Now he's going to be going into turn 1, kind of in the unfavorable spot. Big Joe with some career change and a geographical change as well. So things coming in waves though. He gets his win, gets that monkey off his back, gets that new job.
Right?
Yeah. Still waiting for my win after all my good news, but I just being picky.
Didn't you just get a huge promotion?
Just a little while ago. Yeah.
It's been like a month.
But see, Joe won. I haven't won.
Oh, you win for the win. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, that win. No, the only win that
Detroit.
matters.
Detroit next. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I'm feeling it too if everybody else crashes.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, no pressure. It's the LPM, duels in Detroit. The Detroit duels, whatever they're calling it. All I know is I'm putting it on, so.
Right, yeah.
Extra,
you're
no pressure.
Somehow I'm missing it now, which I feel bad about.
Oh, that's an official thing?
Yes.
Oh!
Caution's out.
Turn 2, put it out. It is the 6 machine. Oh, no. Oh, George.
Oh, that's a weird one. George slows way up. Amjad almost got to back up here because George gets into the corner ahead of Cody Eldred pretty good. And then I don't know what happened, but the car woes way up and comes down the track. And then he holds his line, and Cody comes up into him. Get a good look here. George woed way up, almost like he overdrove entry. Go on board with Cody Eldred here. Like Cody, and I'm not blaming anybody one way or the other. We'll let race control make that decision, but Cody definitely comes up. But at that point, that's a natural progression out of the corner, and he's still pretty low. And you can see what I mean by George's car kind of making a move midway through the corner there, and then he gets back on the gas just before he gets hit. And Cody's going to get away with it, and George is going to DNF again.
I'm not saying it happened, but it almost like his foot slipped off the pedal, and then the panic set in, and then he found it again.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, because he woes way up.
Well, now with what we're kind of talking about there before this caution, with the window open to one stop it from here, you pit from here, you're only stopping, like, that's it. Well, you're stopping one more time. Now, with that, we have a very split decision in the field. So Big Joe has stayed out. Finian Ducana stayed out. Wardlow, Otis, Altman pitted. Mark Cohn, Rigney, Justin Kirby, Chris Lanini.
Yeah,
David
I think
Kleimer.
anybody that wasn't in that group of 4 that was really stretched out, I think had to stay out. And it looks like 2 cars didn't. 2 cars that were with Big Joe and Finian pit. And I don't really understand the reasoning behind that at all, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, they're driving it. We're just talking.
That is true.
I heard some. I was listening to race chatter. There
I was
for a second.
waiting. I was waiting for race control as well. I wanted to know if we were going to get a ruling, and I have not heard yet. David Cordy says avoidable contact, Cody Eldred. That's what he has just messaged us. So Cody will get an avoidable contact. I watch it. Like I said, I see that either way. If you told me it was an avoidable, I would say sure. And if you told me it wasn't, I would say sure.
Yeah, I see it either way.
You know, that's tough decisions race control has to make. And I'm not going to tell them they got that one right or wrong, because that's a tough one to call either way. So Cody Eldred will get an avoidable contact, and unfortunately for George Anzaldo, he will get a trip to the hauler.
Yep, just
George buried down there in 14th in points after such a strong run, first race of the year at Homestead. He was up there battling for the win.
He was battling for the win last week too.
He was very good last week, and he got kind of caught on pit road once, and then there was an issue with a lapped car going slow down pit road that cost him a bunch of spots, and he battled all the way back to the front before that wreck took him out with 11 laps to go. So the lights are out on the pace car, and it's last week's winner, Big Joe Hassert, in that thumbs up, cancer down mosaic entry. Boy, I wonder, I just thought about this, Yaz. Does Big Joe, are we going to get like new sponsors coming his way? Because
he might. I think he said that the colors are the same. The company was the same colors.
Well, that's good. I love the colors. That's
good. Yeah, works out perfect.
Yeah. I know the LPM sponsors are staying on there. Graphics will stay, and Thumbs Up will stay. Got the big old NLR sticker on the back of that because he runs for them here in the Retro Series. Pace car pulls off. It's Big Joe and Finian. And then all the cars that pit earlier and have cycled back to the front. Mustang hangs left. Big Joe puts his right foot down.
Now he puts
flag.
It down.
Boy, yeah, did he wait. Green flag back out. Sinbad Vapors 200 lap 80. We are halfway. Finally.
81 to go. 5 cautions for 19 laps on the event. In case anybody's tracking that at home.
First real battle for positions, about 13th spot.
There's the official call from race control. Drive-through penalty on the 5-0 for that avoidable contact.
Managed to go single file all the way through turns 3 and 4 on the restart there. I'm kind of surprised by that. Now Dustin Wardlow making a run on Finian as they come down the back straightaway. Boy, does the Candyman have a giant run for the second position into turns 3 and 4, and this is going to be Wardlow's spot to lose at this point. Finian trying to hang tough way up the track through 3 and 4. And look at Big Joe goes down and says, I think I want Wardlow. Nope, I think I want Finian now. I don't know who I want. I can't make it.
Playing the Pied Piper there. I'm going to help out both lanes here and kind of see what happens. But Wardlow's going to take the spot, but Finian's going to try and make a run back. Nope, I think he had to lift out of the corner because now that's going to bring Otis and Cone up into the battle in turn 3.
Caution, back straight.
The 28 and the 61 put it out. Joshua Gaiman.
Ryan Corns, the Canadian.
You know who that saved inadvertently? Cody Eldred.
Yeah, Cody Eldred was already on pit road.
Yeah, he served his penalty, and then with the caution, it just worked out for him.
This starts with David Clymer and Joshua Gaiman, and it was Gaiman who was the overtaker on the outside of Clymer in through 1 and 2, and Clymer pushes up, and boy, that's been kind of the bane of everybody's existence. Inside car runs up into the outside, Gaiman into the wall. Look at him try to save it. Boy, the first contact comes from Ron Hacker, so Hacker takes a big hit. His front wing is messed up, and then Ryan Corns, it looks like, just gets collected in the aftermath.
It's kind of, yeah, in the
oh boy, Ryan Corns
chaos.
Run over Eric Block. I don't think Eric Block knew there was a wreck coming, and Ryan Corns just gets hunted.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And that's on Eric Block, because I just went and watched the onboard, and I mean, clear as day, Eric can see the crashing cars, and he is in the throttle and just runs Ryan over. We're going to call a spade, right? Boy, I tell you what, Amjad, if you want to see a change your diaper moment, and with a 7-month-old, I got plenty he can borrow. George Sandman. Let's go watch the replay of George Sandman during that. And George, and wait a minute, I was going to bring it up right before the yellow came out. George pitted for some reason. No idea why. I don't see any damage.
He had a penalty. Because I think he stayed, like, you remember how we were talking about the turn 3 entry with people staying on track?
One of those.
Yeah, I think he got snagged on that because that's what I was listening on the race control channel.
Gotcha.
Just trying to hear that call.
Yeah, because so George was coming off of pit road, and if you go on board with George Sandman here, I mean, boy, he and Ryan Corns, yeah, here. Oh, that's not him. We'll get there. Amjed's freaking out. I trust him. We got lots of time.
He's just putting all sorts of pressure on Amjed right now. And now we're just looking at Sandman pit road.
Yeah, you're going to get a good idea of it here. The onboard is the real money maker, but just watch this.
The money shot, right? Oh, goodness!
That's what I told you.
Just coming off the pit road, like, oh, I'm just going to mind my business.
Gotta see. Here you go. Watch. Yeah, just minding my own business here, guys. I'm just going to try to merge and...
Yeah, everything's okay. Everything's not okay!
George did a good job getting out of the throttle and not panicking.
That needs to make the highlight reel for next year.
Yeah, that'd be
good.
But that
that reminded me like those old Indy highlights for the intros. You know, that camera sitting over the shoulder, car spinning out.
I love that. I love that old camera.
I got that theme song stuck in my head. That's cool. Delta Force theme. In case anybody's out there is curious, you can go on the YouTubes and find that. Let that get stuck in your head and fill your mind with the old memories of Paul Page doing the intros.
There we go. I love Paul Page. Hey, while we're talking about Big Joe, who's up 27 spots in the lead now. But how about a shout out for a couple of guys who started way at the back? Chris Walker started dead last, is up to 10th, up 24 spots, and even more impressively to me, because he was my teammate last year on Raven, 2 spots back of Chris Walker is Travis Jaegerleiner, up from 33rd to 12th, 21 spots for a driver who literally could not be any more vocal about how much he absolutely loathes and despises all things oval tracks. And he's in P12 right now.
And
Attaboy,
he's on
Travis.
the same strategy as pretty much everybody else on the field.
So
he's earned that. He's been hustling that car.
He sure has. He sure has. Hey, you know the Lionheart Retro Series this year, Brian, brought to you by our good friends at Butt Kicker, and we appreciate all they do for the Lionheart Series. Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, the Butt Kicker products move actual mass. They produce a haptic immersion. It's powerful. It is accurate. Butt Kicker products add the missing driver to car connection. They bring more realism and immersion to your racing sessions. You can see the full family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Don't forget about that promo code LION25. LION25 will give you 25% off your order. Guys, 25% off Butt Kicker. Send that promo code to everybody you know. Okay, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, the guy on the corner. Everybody needs haptic immersion in their life. thebuttkicker.com. Pace cars off, Big Joe Hassert. Bringing that NLR car down the front straightaway. Green flag back in the air, lap 86. And we're racing with the Big Joe Show, leading the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, Ryan Otis, Mark Cohn, Mike Rigney. By the way, I should fix this now while I can, it's because Joe jumped all over me on the post-race recap from last week. I said that the Big Joe Show was self-anointed, and apparently Sean Ambrose gave him that moniker.
I remember that. I remember that little spat right there.
Yeah, look, long week. All right, Joe's since forgiven me. Okay, we'll hug it out at Iowa.
Exactly.
All things work out. We got to get Ambrose to Iowa. How do I do that?
Kind of like a Field of Dreams.
Right, Ambrose and soup to Iowa. Oh man.
Then we're gonna need a GoFundMe for bail money.
Battle for the lead. Here comes the Candyman to the inside of Big Joe. Dustin Wardlow to the front.
Ooh, not for long. Big Joe with the crossover. Going to get that back at the line. Also, quick note, Paul Jenkins had a internet disconnect, reconnected back into the session. So for fans of Paul Jenkins out there, that's why his name dropped down the standings page.
Wardlow out in front of Big Joe, comes back to the inside in turns 3 and 4, and these two now. So this is what happens when you get a couple of good cars up front. Two of the best in this series, two of the best on an oval. Here comes Mark Cohn looking inside of Ryan Otis.
Two pit bulls battling over a stake. That's what's going on for the lead up front as Mark Cohn gets a good run around Ryan Otis. Move the Watchman up to the 3rd spot.
Mike Rigney, Justin Kirby are there as well. It's a good old JR that used to say business about to pick up.
Yes, sir.
70 laps to go, make it 70 even, as they call it.
Also used to say beaten like a government mule, so.
Well, that was a factual statement for a long, long time in Oklahoma, which I believe is where good old JR is from.
Yeah.
Boomer. Wardlow back inside of Big Joe. These two are just going to keep swapping spots, and it's working. Although here comes Mark Cohn. You call him the Watchman. I'm going to call him the food critic. He's earned a dual nicknameship in the Lionheart series.
He's got both. I'm going to start calling him Sushi in a minute.
Sushi.
Think about it. He
That
forces
might
his way up.
stick.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
man.
forces his way up in the middle there, hangs out like a California roll. I don't know if I used that right. I don't know what sushi really does.
Yeah, you guys don't
Other
get
than it's
sushi in
food.
Michigan, do you?
No, we have whitefish and trout and walleye. You get yourself some of that. That's some good stuff.
Say we have whitefish.
Yeah, it's a thing. You laugh. Google that right now. Whitefish. It's a thing in Michigan, and it tastes delicious.
It's because you don't know any better. Oh, boy. We are spoiled on the coast, that's for sure. Our family owns a business in Maine, and I have to hear from them all the time about
See, we both
lobster.
leave that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, anytime that I give them, any sort of grief, their response is, I'm going to go eat my $4 lobster now.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
they win.
Meanwhile, Wardlow officially leads the lap, and Big Joe's not going to get back around him this time, so Dustin had to work for that one, but he's taken the lead from Hassert. Mark Cohn has been unable to clear himself from Ryan Otis, takes a defensive line into turn 3. Going to make the points leader go the long way around 3 and 4, and Otis can't quite get there. And Mike Rigney, shout out to Mike Rigney, who's just quietly hung around in the top 10 all day and is still there. Big Joe back inside of Wardlow, meanwhile, so they're 2x2 up front. And it's Wardlow just rolling the middle. And Dustin looks awfully comfortable up front right now.
Does. And keep an eye on Big Joe. Going to be making a dart to pit road here anytime. 50 laps that I'm seeing since he last pitted, even with all the cautions, that should maybe only stretch him out just a little bit. Still side by side. Joe is not giving it up. Side by side with Wardlow.
Have
down
you
into the
ever
corner.
known Joe to give it up?
Nope.
Mark Cohn.
Ooh, shut the door.
Watchman's right there. Look at him, tucked up.
He was there.
Boy, Mark, if you reach out, if you want to way around Big Joe, just go ahead and reach out right there. Grab that linkage. That's called the gearbox, and just change the gear.
And he
he's
could grab it with those minus 273 gloves.
in. You sure could. Speaking of discount codes,
Yeah, minus
LHRS.
273. Yeah,
Use the
buddy.
code LHRS, 25% off at -273.biz.
They are the premier name in karting gloves, too. Minus 273.biz, LHRA, yeah. I said the thing, and I didn't do the tie-in, and then I had to go finding the thing.
Let me help you here, Yaz.
I remember my first
-273, the premier name in karting gloves, industry-leading gloves. They're super lightweight and durable. They're made of breathable poly spandex, which Brian has a plethora of at his house. Whether you're a kart or sim racer, -273 give you the control to reach for victory lane. For more information on -273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit -273.biz. LHRS is the promo code. 25% off with -273.
I do have that breathable spandex, but the problem is with my body type is it looks like I have a hefty bag full of mango pulp. So it's not a great combination.
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Anyways, gimping along here in the race.
it's just Wardlow's just comfortably in front of Big Joe right now.
Yeah. Top 5 just kind of settled out. Everybody's kind of riding in file, riding in line. First guy was kind of shaking it up was Regney there just a little bit. Kirby poking his nose out. And also a shout out to Chris Lanini. I don't think we've said his name once other than the intro. He's hanging out there in a solid 7th place.
This is why you recruited Chris Lanini to LPM on the IndyCar side.
Absolutely. Just hangs out, quietly goes about his day.
Classic Chris Lanini race right here. Just gonna run around and be out of the way, and with 50 laps to go, I'm in 7th.
Yeah, when that pay window opens up, that's when that 92 machine starts lurking its way to the front. Poking my nose back out through the field, and let's see here. Adam Young, he's back there, last car in the top 10. Started 23rd, up to the 10th. He's working it the hard way. Riding shotgun number 12 machine. You just did. That's a great time to do it. When we're focusing on you, that's when you go purple. That's the best time to do it. Fastest lap of the race, 28.565. That's a screamer of a lap. He might do one better here. Let's see what he runs. Nope. 6.21. All right.
Still nowhere close to the in-race lap record of a 28.356.
They're getting there. They're 2/10 off right now.
Okay.
Oh, Walker, keep it straight. Keep it straight.
Oh, Chris.
No caution.
Wow. Chris Walker. Like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, 2 fistful of steering wheel hanging onto that thing. Watch it here in turn 3.
No warning either.
Also,
shout out to Frank Beeser and everybody else who didn't run him over, which would have been easy to do.
No truth to the rumor that Chris Walker is a stunt driver in the new Fast and Furious 75, whatever movie.
Is that the one they're working on right now?
I don't know. I lost count.
Big Joe is still out there. I keep waiting for him to hang a left. Goes around again.
He's almost, and I'm just going to point this out there, he might be just one stop and then that's going to be it.
60 laps into this run.
That's where he's at. He's at 55 to go. So, you need a lot of caution.
He had a lot of cautions, yeah. He needs, in reality, he needs 9 more to make this his last stop, I think.
He's going to try. And he's still not giving up the fight. He's still got plenty. He's got plenty of run at it. Joe might have a good shot. Even with a fuel stop, he's probably going to lose a lap, but he'd be probably right back to where he is. I don't think what he wants is, you don't want it.
Oh boy,
there goes that thought.
Is in the grass right
Paulson,
there, and it was
James Paulson.
James Paulson's had a night to forget.
Yeah, that's oof.
Oh, this is ugly. Oh.
Let's see here.
Oh, my.
A little bit of front wing damage there going around the corner. So he's got in contact with somebody.
His front wing damage is going to literally be the last of his worries in about 5 seconds.
Oh.
Yep.
That hurts. Some of these impacts, I know it's a game, but sometimes you do close your eyes just a little bit.
I'm going to go ahead and say James Paulson's not going to make the end of this race.
What was your first bet? The smoking car? Or the long dart into the turn 1 wall?
Yeah, that was the dead giveaway for me.
All right, so here we go. Pit road is open. Everybody's going to come on pit road. Maybe that's what Joe was hoping for. You never know. Hitting out there with that. Now he's cycled up there with the with the lead group. All right, are my eyes playing tricks on me, or does Wardlow like missing part of an engine cover? Or is it just my screen?
I think that's you. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's how good a work he does. I messed with him so hard.
Well, you know.
Sitting there watching it like, what?
Dustin's just too good of a painter for you, Yaz. I don't know what to tell you.
Clearly. Just the level of detail in there is insane.
Well, I don't know what happened with Ryan Otis there. Ryan Otis had a horrific pit stop.
Take our final break of the race. We're going to come back, kind of cycle through a couple things here, and close out the Sinbad Vapors 200 here at Gateway Motorsports Parks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
Welcome back to the Sinbad Vapors 200.
That's the
Here at
race
Gateway
name, isn't it?
Motorsports Park. That is the race name. Yes, Brian.
Give
well
him
done.
Grief off of air.
Because you guessed and got it right.
Yeah. Go me.
Okay, go you. Scotty Holmes, your leader. David Altman is in second. Then lap car George Sandman. Cody Eldred, Eric Block, and then you get back to Dustin Wardlow. So Wardlow's sixth car in line, P5, as we get ready to go on this restart. Pace car is off right away. Scott Holmes is on the pedal. David Altman was not. Big jump for Holmes. Green flag is back out. 49 laps left at this 1 1/4 mile paperclip shaped oval. Well, I guess more like an egg, right? Egg-shaped oval.
Egg-shaped.
Here at Gateway. Wardlow already
Mark
looking
was-
inside a block.
Yeah, Mark took a good run down into turn one, just didn't get it to stick from the bottom, which let Wardlow get the good run from the top and try and fight off Eric Block. And now Eric Block is going to get the good run from the top. That's going to bring everybody right back together, coming off a turn 4 down the front stretch with 48 laps to go.
Wardlow looking high on Block. Battle for the lead. David Altman, Scott Holmes. Remember, Altman made that move work earlier on Holmes by going to the inside. It's the only time we've seen somebody make the bottom in 1 and 2 work.
Good run off of the corner there. Got a good run there as you see Altman get into the lead. They're trying to take the lead back from Holmes going off into turn 1. And this time he's going to make it stick once again. So move David Altman in that number 88 machine back up to the front. But without a... Yeah, it was Holmes going to look like he was going to fight back just a little bit. Not quite there this time. Circling around. Eric Block looking on the inside of Dustin Wardlow. That's going to be a battle. Actually, Wardlow now is taking that spot over. So move Dustin up to the 4th spot. Highest car on the field that did pit under this last time under the caution, which should be the last time that these drivers all hit pit road. Anything else? Big Joe kind of hanging out back there as well. So is Otis. The field just kind of settled out right now. But, you know, when you look at Altman, you look at Holmes and Eldred and Eric Block, those guys are going to have to pit at least one more time. But Eric Block said, you know what, you don't have to pit. I'm still going to bring it under Dustin Wardlow there. But Wardlow does get the good run down the front stretch as we go above the driver's helmet there. And then a battle up front. There was a black machine. Oh, no, it was just Sandman back there. Still out front, David Altman, that number 88 machine. Black, yellow. The easiest car probably to find on the whole track here, but this Holmes not quite giving it up yet. It's a good run off of turn 4. Going to get right up back towards the bumper there. See anything else jumping around here? Nope. Cody Eldred was looking at the inside of Sandman. Remember, Sandman is 1 lap down, so tantalizingly close to getting back on the lead lap is the driver of that 06 machine. But now that little battle is going to bring Wardlow right back up into it. Wardlow is at a very strong car all night as Eldred almost bounces it off the fence in turn 2. Side by side, Eldred now going to get around Sandman. Sandman kind of have to give up the ghost just a little bit. He's going to come up the corner. Woo! Going to tuck up behind Wardlow, and then in that's going to bring Cone back up into it. Mark Cone and dive it down to the inside of turn 1 underneath Sandman. Once again, Sandman trying to keep it, close enough to where if something works out, he can get back onto the lead lap. Just not going to quite work out at the moment. As there you see Wardlow now. Wardlow setting his sights on the 50 machine of Cody Eldred going through 3 and 4 that time. Move Dustin Wardlow. Not quite clear just yet. He's going to have that lower lane going into turn 1 and 2 this time around. 41 laps to go. Not going to quite get it cleared. Eldred fights back on the top.
Okay, Ryan Otis just tried the same move on Eric Block. Three groups behind them didn't work either. So all the cars that have been up front all race are struggling now, trying to maneuver through the cars that they haven't been racing with.
It just seems like everybody's just kind of trying to hang out and get it to the end. Cone's going to try and make a show out of it. He's going to dive it down to the bottom. Not going to quite get clear of Wardlow. Wardlow might just settle in and say, you know what? Everybody around me, everybody in front of me has to pit one more time. Not even that, we're fairly certain that everybody on that last caution might be able to make it. We're fairly certain. But there's still a tinge of hope or a tinge of doubt in that whole situation too. Because we were basing that number off of Joe, Big Joe there on there that last stint, but he had a lot of cautions to help him out.
Indeed. Eric Block almost just took over the gap on the wall down the back straight, and we got a battle up front. Altman again, and Holmes.
Baseball world, that would have been hitting probably a double off in the center field. So I've hit that wall. You bounce off it and you go dead left right into the center of the field. Oh, caution is out. Turn 2.
Boy, and it's a yard sale in turn 2. Mardi Gras in it.
Boy, this looking strange.
Mardi Gras and JP.
Oh, Okay. Just my replay wasn't quite queued up. That's why I thought it looked a little strange. Who was that diving in the middle? There was a blue car. That Frank? Yeah, Frank just split the carnage.
It started with JP. JP went around, and boy, Mardi Gras just nowhere to go. Boy, Ron Hacker was the first one to split the middle. That's exciting. And then Beeser comes through, and somewhere in there, Tyson Landis just destroys JP.
Oh. A couple
Pit
guys
stops.
that had to pit. They are on pit road. Eric Block, Holmes, Altman, Eldred. Now we know these guys can make it to the end. 100% guaranteed. We're basing our numbers.
Was in.
Yeah, we're basing our numbers though off of Joe, who ran 60, probably with about 15 of those were caution.
Yeah, well, we're at this point 35 to go, like you said, no question.
They should.
Everybody can make it.
Well,
35 plus 15 puts you, there.
Well, that's the cars
Yeah,
that
I
are
mean, that-
pitting
I
right
think they're
now.
there.
These cars
I'm talking
have
about
17
Dustin,
laps
Mark,
on the.
Otis. I think they're there now. Yes,
It
I'd be
should
surprised. Let's put it that way.
17 and 36 is 55, 53.
17 plus 36 is 53.
All right, 53. So that we think they're good. If that went green, that would have been a lot tighter.
This is the second week in a row. I'm going to remind you, you're a banker, right?
Something like that. It's all programmed in there. I just punch numbers in, and it tells me if I'm wrong.
So what you're telling me is that week of training they sent you on was really just was that like a beer drinking fact finding mission?
No, I wish. Did find a good steakhouse in Flint, Michigan, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you left that out.
Redwood Steakhouse.
Yazik's messaging us in our team chat while he's there, and we're like, Brian, live it up. Like, got a new job, good gig, you got a raise, you're on vacation, all alone. What are you gonna eat? And he's like, man, today I went to Chipotle. Tomorrow I'm going to Subway. And I was like, Brian. He's like, I don't know what's in Flint.
Hang on.
I was like, dude.
Half of that story is wrong. I didn't go to Subway. I went to
Where was
Olive
the other
Garden,
place?
and you chastised
right.
me to death for it.
Well, of course I did. You went to Olive Garden. You should have gone to Subway. And I never thought I'd say that.
No.
Over Olive Garden? Look, I will take yoga mats and my bread over fake Italian food, okay?
No, last time we found a good steakhouse. Now we get to go, next time we get to go down more closer to Detroit, so options are aplenty. There's a good barbecue shack, at least I knew downtown, that I'm going to try and hit that up again.
How much water did you drink in Flint?
I drank a lot of water. Really, where I was at, we were fine.
I think that's what they told everybody else, too.
Well, man, I might get superpower hero, superhero powers. There we go.
They told the people living near Chernobyl they were fine as well.
Well, that's a little different. Okay, wait a minute.
There's a great series on HBO about it right now.
That's comparing handguns to dinner
Chernobyl.
forks. Like, not even close.
There's a great series on HBO, by the way. If
I heard
anybody's
something
looking for
about it. Someone was
for a
telling me
miniseries.
about that.
Yeah, no, I am a world history buff, and Chernobyl is a fascinating event, and
You and I both, brother.
and this is a fascinating series. So if you're into history, and it's a mini series, it's not a documentary. It is phenomenal television as well. It's called Chernobyl. It's on HBO. It's a 6-part mini series. There are 2 episodes in it. Pace car rolling off.
Yeah, you want to talk about a good series though to watch? You're on it
Lionheart
right here
Retro
on the
Series
iRacing
presented by Buck
Esports
Kicker.
Network.
Dustin Wardlow hoping to prove us wrong. Dustin has his ways, it'll be a terrible series to watch the rest of the night, because he'll just check out.
If anything, Mark Cohn, Ryan Otis, Big Joe, they've all got a battle, and they've all got their own set of ideas behind them.
Yeah, too many mailmen behind Dustin to check out of this one.
But as the run does progress, Wardlow is going to be increasingly in the good spot, though, because we've seen it as it gets later in the runs, that passing on the bottom becomes almost impossible. So if he can probably fight this off just for a little bit, he could be in a very good spot. Mark was faster that last time, but that's probably with the aid of the draft. A little higher lane, but then the car just washes out there in the middle of the corner.
Boy, the three of them have yarded Big Joe, too. I wasn't expecting that.
Here comes Mark Cohn to the inside, going down into turn one. And he's got it.
Wow.
Oh,
what a
wow.
move.
I would have shut that door. I would have shut that door.
Yeah, I think he'll still clear him in 3 because it was such a move. He will. Wow.
To move up the 39. Oh, no.
Oh, he's blinking.
Oh, no. Come back, Mark.
Don't do that, Mark.
Oh, that would be just the worst way to lose it. Oh, and he just can't quite get the motor off from the bottom lane there.
Like you said, he needed to shut the door last time. I know it's early, 30 laps to go. Probably trying not to be too aggressive, but at some point.
Well, there's a couple products out there for that. Oh, he's gonna fight back on the top side.
He's blinking again too, and so is Rigney.
If he can hold that spot from the top. Nope, Wardlow gets that good run from the bottom. Fighting back there, going into turn 3. He's got it this time. Mark Cohn back up to the lead. Come on, Mark. Come back up the track. Come back up the track. Shut the door. Come on.
Yaz, you want to step away for a minute and go spot for him?
Just trying to help.
No, I know. It's fun to listen to. When, meanwhile, Big Joe's starting to creep back up, and he's trying to bring Justin Kirby with him.
I was going to say, don't ever count out Big Joe at the end of one of these things, because I guarantee what Big Joe is saying right now is he's just hanging out back there going, all right, y'all have fun fighting. You're going to have to deal with me at the end of this. Probably saving himself a little bit of car, a little bit of tire. And Wardlow getting a good run back out to the outside. I think that blinking every once in a while is just disrupting it enough to let Wardlow get a good run. But here comes Otis back on the inside. Otis going to kind of fight it out. Yeah, he just decided to kind of let it hang out. So you see Ryan Otis with the PlasmaTracks.com on board, overlooking this battle for the lead. Plasma Tracks, plasma-tracks.com. They produce original race wall track art, motorsport trophies, home decor. Just, you got to see it for yourself. Plasma-tracks.com, LRS 2019. You get 25% off of your order at Plasma Tracks.
Wardlow and Cohn. And this is the battle up front. And Otis, and I think the 3 of them are going to be who battles it out.
Put it out, the 50 machine.
Boy, Cody Eldred, who got that avoidable and was bailed out by a caution, and then worked his way back up front. This night is going to come to an end with 24 laps remaining, and here's how it happens.
Oh, did that car just get loose, or did he get a little bit of help? got loose all by himself. So as that car went into the corner, we've been seeing that a lot. You know, low fuel, hot tires.
And as you know, too much wheel in this car, and it is a fine line that you walk with this race car.
Yeah.
From super fast to super wrecked. Poor Frank Beeser. Frank Beeser has now cashed his ticket to the Nowhere to Go Club 2019. They're starting to run out of seats on the bench there.
Yeah. Getting accused of fanboying in the chat. That's fun.
Oh, in favor of who?
Well,
you in favor of Cone?
Taft is giving me grief, and I think George is just playing along with that.
Well, good. You cheer for Mark, and I'll cheer for Wardlow, and then we can both get accused of it. It'd be great. Then somebody's going to blame us for not having somebody for Otis and Big Joe.
Exactly.
Look, this is the job we signed up for, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Adam Young?
Adam Young.
Adam Young. Interview.
All right, well, let's see. Adam, don't swear.
That might be hard right now. Ooh, this thing is quick, buddy.
Hanging out there. Yeah, take it away.
Shouldn't you be driving a race car?
Man, I'm thinking like I'm driving a rocket ship right now. Going to the stratosphere, buddy. Maybe the troposphere.
The what?
Wait. Troposphere is never mind. Heck, I'm a meteorologist. What the heck do I know?
All right, Adam, do me a favor. Go back to driving the car because this is not going so well.
Well, hey, I tell you what, guys. This thing's great. Just ran 28.5 there right before the caution. I don't need any more cautions, okay? So let's do what you guys can do up there in the booth for me.
Oh, I told David Cordy like 3 cautions ago. I said, look, I don't care if the first 6 cars wreck. Just leave it green.
Right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I think there's an override in the admin console.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
what was that
for
old
that.
Need for Speed game, right? Remember like the second Monster Jam game where you just would wreck trucks and drive through it?
Yeah, I'd be all right with that. I mean, I've already felt like Days of Thunder a few times this week.
There you go.
I mean, and then, like Days of Thunder, I've got a match set and staggered special. We're going to hold her on the outside and go for it.
There you
Hey,
go,
I already
buddy.
made a Days of Thunder joke today. All right? Okay, we were already talking about eating ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm eating ice cream.
I've just
Adam.
made several bad jokes, so you just take
Well,
it.
doesn't he always?
That's par for the course, yeah. Hey, Adam, how hard is it to pass in this thing right now?
Extremely. That's going to be the X factor. I mean, I know I'm real fast. I know I've got a real good shot here, hit a top 5, heck, maybe even the win. But getting around people's tough. I mean, you need almost a full lap. But watch the last 20 laps of this race, guys, because these cars, these Lotus 79s, they really come in when they're light on fuel with these older tires. You're going to see some lightning quick laps out of this top 5 here in a little bit, top 10 even.
All right. Well, I mean, right now, you know, you do. I don't know if you know this, but you have the fastest lap of the race at a 28:56.
Yep, and that came out right before the yellow. Like, I was starting to fly, man.
Hey, now, do you know what the all-time record is for fastest lap in a race, Adam?
What's that?
28:35. So you got a lot of work to do.
Let's
Go
go.
find me.
Let's go.
Find me 210.
I got into the 28.4s in the warm-up race the other night. Let's go.
Got to run a 28:355 or better because 28:356 is it. That's Adam Young. We're going back to green. I think Amjad just kicked him.
Amjad got tired of that.
Man, I have numerous times I've alluded to who holds the in-race lap record here, and never once has anybody been like, who holds that record?
Oh. Well, if you pay attention to the chat, that answer was just given. That's you.
Man,
I wondered how you were so Johnny on the spot with that stat.
well, I mean, in fairness, George does a great job of giving us info. You'd know this if you looked at the media guide. Hey, green flag is coming back out. 20 laps to go. We have a media guide? That's a quote from Brian Yazek 15 minutes ago. Dustin Wardlow leads them into turn 1 ahead of Mark Cohn, Ryan Otis. Big Joe and Kirby are side by side. Look out. No, Big Joe's wrecked.
Oh, put it out.
Kirby. Oh, Justin Kirby. That's going to be unavoidable. Oh, that's gonna blow up Big Joe's chat. Kirby just tried to put his foot in the throttle, and she no sticky.
No sticky rice.
No, she no sticky into Big Joe is what happened there. Oh, did Adam Young just drive into that too? He sure did.
Oh no!
Oh, poor Adam. That'd be the last time. Be the last time Adam's ever in our chat. It might have been one of those netcode deals. Adam might be okay. Maybe Adam can pop back in here and tell us whether he's got any damage. Yeah, it seemed big, but the car looks okay.
Gotta go look here.
Poor Big Joe.
That car looks fine on my screen.
Big Joe's or Adams?
Adams.
Rhetorical question.
Caught me right off guard on that one.
Speaking of Big Joe's. Hey, shout out to Thumbs Up Cancer Down, though.
Absolutely.
Shameless plug. The unofficial official charity of the Lionheart IndyCar Series and Lionheart Retro Series. Bakersfield, California based. ThumbsUpCancerDown.com. You want to find out more?
Absolutely.
Helping Central California cancer patients get through their battles. If you're really curious, contact Jason Galvin. He's on the board of directors.
Yeah, pretty good in right there.
Yeah, that is pretty good in. That Jason guy, man.
Yeah, he's
Fastest
setting lap
lap at
records.
Gateway.
He's
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah. We have 17 laps to go, and needless to say, fuel is not a problem anymore. Can officially.
No, I think we're good there. I think we're good on the fuel. Let's see here. If I
George
can come
Anzaldo?
around.
George Anzaldo's
I think we got to do. We owe it to him for last week.
Georgie,
What's going on, guys?
you got to stop qualifying on the pole. That's like a bad omen for you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's I don't know. Luck has not been on my side these last couple weeks, but the speed's been there. Just got to find a way to bring it home, you know.
Where did you find this qualifying speed? Can you share some of this mojo with Brian and I?
Shameless plug, but honestly, at the start of the season, I hooked up my AccuForce, and I've been driving with my -273 gloves, so the precision has been there, and the steering. I don't know, my hands have gotten a lot more steadier. I'm getting so much feedback with this new wheel, and it's been phenomenal. So
Wait, you
I don't know.
actually hooked up the AccuForce?
yes, sir. Yeah, I was savoring it and saving it for this season. Got it all going, and it's been great. But yeah, the speed's there. I just I got to put this all together. I got to stay out of trouble. I don't know what to do. You know, just been kind of caught up, and yeah. We'll see.
There have been a few of you guys this year. Big Joe's been caught in a lot of things, even though he won last week. Poor Wardlow. Dustin's up there leading this race right now, and I think every lap that goes by, he goes, "Is this the lap I get wrecked?"
You know, this like I say, the speed's there. We'll get it put together. Somehow try to salvage a season. I guess this is what it feels like to be Dan, to start off the season this way.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, the good news for Dan is he almost won the championship after
Yeah.
he started late. Well,
Well.
George, hey, you know what? I know how you can fix all of this. Just go win both races at Belle Isle next week.
You got it.
All right. That's George Anzaldo. He's our fearless leader.
Take care.
He's our founder. We're going back green. Lights are out. Seriously, George has turned into like one of my best friends. You too, yeah. He's turned into one of the best friends of several people in the league, and it's so generous. We all get together at Iowa at the IndyCar race coming up in the middle of July. So if you're out there and you want to come hang out with the boys, we've got a big campsite, and everybody goes and hangs out. Ron Hacker, Brandon Lincombe do
Pretty
so
easy
much
to find
help
us.
that. Yeah. Look for the 50 mostly fat guys.
And the big Lionheart banner.
And the giant. Oh yeah, that one.
Man.
We do have a hell of a time though, and George is a big reason for it. So make sure he knows
Buzzballs.
how much we appreciate
Brand.
it. Buzzballs, yeah. Oh, gross. 15 laps to go. Not gross. Dustin Wardlow, DeWars Candy in the lead. Green flag back out ahead of Mark Cohn, Ryan Otis, Justin Kirby and Mike Rigney, and we have less than 25 miles left in this one.
And Wardlow got a great jump off of that restart, keeping a pretty solid distance, 5, 6, 7, 8 car lengths there between he and Mark. Mark going to be falling into the grasps there of Ryan Otis and Justin Kirby, who's trying to take it to the inside of Otis. That doesn't quite, that run sputtered off there. See, look at that long camera shot down the backstretch. You see everybody pretty much single file, a couple cars poking out back there in the pack. But all of our focus is up front. Mark Cohn starting to wind in the number 9 machine. And here we go again, down into turn 1. He's got it that time. Give the lead back to Mark Cohn. That Phoenix win, man, that really lit a fire under him. Another driver hanging out back in the field there. I think I saw it for a split second. It was Chris Lanini battling for a top 5 spot. They get there to the inside. Oh yeah, we're just gonna stay out front here. That's the good battle.
Yeah,
Mark
Cohn and Wardlow. This battle is far from over. These two, I'm told, absolutely went to war last night in the practice race as well and finished basically side by side. And by the way, Justin Kirby did not get an avoidable contact for that wreck, and I don't mind calling the admins out on air because I just told them I think that's a terrible call, but that's okay because that's again why they're the admins and I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on Kirby. Just to me, sure looked like he drove up the track into Joe. So, Wardlow, we'll put that to bed with 10 laps to go, leading Cohn, and then Otis and Kirby. And we'll focus on the end of this one. It's Kirby to the inside of Ryan Otis. Cohn sticks his nose inside of Wardlow.
Just a pretty good scrap right there. Still battling it side by side going off into turn 1. Just really impressive. And Mark's just trying lap after lap. Give it to Mark Cohn going through turns 3 and 4. Wardlow going to fight back on the top side though, going to get that run down the front stretch. Justin Kirby sitting back watching it all. There you go with the onboard camera there for Mark Cohn.
Under 8 to go. Minus 273 on board for Mark Cohn.
Pay window's getting ready to open up.
Wait, shout out to the iRacing folks, by the way. I've watched this entire racing sim on TV3. It's beautiful. I don't know if I should have told you that 153 laps ago, yeah?
Oh yeah, I looked at it at one point and watched the sunset.
I mean, you can watch, I've watched the whole race here. It's great. Oh, boy. Oh, Otis! Ryan Otis, 3 wide, almost.
Someone just about watched their race sunset going off into the corner. Otis trying to stick to the bottom. Trying to get a little bit of that rumble strip, though. Not going to quite work because now Cohn is going to be up in the draft. He's going to pull down in front of Otis. Otis is going to slide back up. 6 laps to go.
If Ryan Otis can stick his nose through 1 and 2 here, he might actually have the advantage. Cohn caught the rumble strips. That is not what you want to do, and boy, did he lose the momentum.
Yeah, he was trying to straighten that corner out as much as possible.
To the outside is Otis of Cohn. Kirby's there too. Mark Cohn way up the track.
Everybody went up the track there in that corner.
The blocking rule, right?
I would have called that an arrow wash there. Everybody arrow washed each other. Coming to 4 laps to go here this time by. Now this would be, the window here. This is going to be it. The next flag is going to end it on the service here. Because allegedly we might be getting green light checkers in the next build. Allegedly. Mark just dives it into the corner, makes it stick on corner exit, comes back down to try and break the draft, but here comes Wardlow back to the outside.
This is intense. With 3 laps to go this time. And this is when you hope everybody else in the field just minds their manners, because this is too much fun to watch up front.
Kirby up to the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Kirby's sticking his nose in there.
Got a good run around Otis one of those last times around. But now Kirby, that's a new player up front. We don't know what he's capable of up here. He's been hanging out back after the top 10 and then just working his way up. What does he have for the 39 and the 9?
2 laps to go.
Boy, now the intensity is picking up here at Gateway. Mark Cohn. Oh, the caution is out! Who is that going to give it to?
Mark Cohn was out in front pretty clearly, and that's how this race is going to end. And it's David Altman who brings out the final caution. Altman, Robert Bloom, among others. But it started with Altman, and boy, David Altman, that's one of the ugliest corners in series history. He chased that thing from here to Florida and then got crushed by Robert Bloom. And somehow Ryan Corns came in there and didn't hit them both.
Hey.
Mark Cohn's going to get his 2nd career win in the Lionheart Retro Series.
Last 3 races.
As they bring it back around on the final lap here.
Wardlow, though, Wardlow's got to feel, as good as you could feel finishing 2nd.
Sure. His year's gone.
Nobody hit him.
Well, we got a half a lap left here. Quarter of a lap.
It's possible.
Mark Cohn, in his first full season running with the Lionheart Series, picked up his 1st career win after a couple of the leaders wrecked out at ISM. There will be no controversy tonight. One of the premier cars in the race, and for the 2nd time in 3 events, Mark Cohn is victorious in the Lionheart Retro Series presented by Butt Kicker. He wins the Sinbad Vapors 200 at Gateway Motorsports Park over Dustin Wardlow, Justin Kirby, Ryan Otis, and Mike Rigney. That is your top 5. We're back with the post-race show, a full rundown of the final results, and the podium on the iRacing Esports Network. This is the post-race show for the Sinbad Vapors 200 from Gateway Motorsports Park. Round 6 of the Lionheart Retro Series presented by Butt Kicker is in the books. In your post-race show brought to you by our good friends at Plasma Tracks. If you are struggling to find something for the person who has everything, this is the website you need to go to, plasma-tracks.com. Not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, motorsports fabrication is all available. So is the phenomenal cornhole trophy from the Lionheart IndyCar series from last year. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness that this product will bring to your house. The only way to fully appreciate the artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit, next thing you know, you're going to be trying to convince your spouse why you need several plasma tracks hanging around your home. Plasma-tracks.com. LRS 2019 is the promo code. LRS 2019 will give you that big old 25% off of your order. Yaz, take us through the top 10 and the final results of this one.
There we go. Well, as Amjad found us the qualifying result. There we go. There's our race result. Mark Cohn bringing it home to the
Aldo's
checkered
going
flag.
crazy right now. I won.
Yeah, he'll be back in the interview booth. Dustin Wardlow, second spot. Nothing to be upset about. Had a great car and put himself up on the podium. Justin Kirby rounding out the third position. Ryan Otis fourth. Mike Brigney in fifth. Chris Lanini sneaking in a sixth place finish with David Clymer in seventh. Adam Young, we talked to him underneath one of the cautions. He said kind of fell out of the rhythm there a little bit at the end of it with Chris Walker ninth. Ron Hacker, we're at 10th. That's just what he does.
I think that's word for word what you said earlier in this race when he was our driver profile. Let's take you to 11th now. Eric Block. Hey, that's a good run for Eric Block. How about Travis Jagerlander, who just hung around all race? Around the 12th spot after starting way back in the field. Tyson Landis, Finian Tuna, Robert Bluen, despite that wreck that brought out the final caution, being part of it, ends up 15th. And it's George Sandman, Scott Holmes, Ryan Corns, David Altman, who was the cause of that caution, 19th. And Chad Dalton gets you to 20th.
21st goes to Big Joe Hassard after that unfortunate incident at the end of the race. Dean Mall, 22nd. Cody Eldred, 23rd. Paul Jenkins, 24th, with Frank Beeser in the 25th spot. JP Winchittle, Tyler Graff, James Paulson, and Joshua Gaiman. George Anzaldo running out there in the 30th spot.
And the last couple cars in the field here. As we turn it over, Pat Dotson, Sage Karam, Ken Hacker, and poor Lionel Callisto, who made it all of about a quarter of a mile in this one. Would have been fantastic if we were drag racing. Fortunately for good old Lionel, we were not. Winter time for the second time in 3 weeks. Congratulations, Northern California's own Mark Cohn picks up the win in the Sinbad Vapors 200 here at Gateway Motorsports Park. Mark, you and Dustin put on an absolute show at the end, and I'm sure that you would have liked to have won it in a green flag battle to the end. But a win's a win, right? Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Dustin, we battled the whole race last night in the second practice race, and he drove me so clean both then and tonight. I have to tip my hat to him because that was some of the best racing I've had in quite a while. Still can't believe it.
Mark, take us through those last couple of laps there with you and Dustin. It seemed like once he got out in front, I think we all kind of thought that might have been the end of the race. How were you able to get back around?
To be quite honest, I'm not sure because I was struggling so much to try and keep that inside line. But once the fuel wore down and then the tires, they kind of loosened up a bit, I was able to arc it just right. I still can't believe I actually got in front of him because I thought it was going to be a photo finish right to the line.
Well, congratulations. Big night for you. Not only your second win, that's going to bump you way up into the point standings as well and jump you well back into the top 10 here, it looks like. You might even make a run at the top 5 once things shake out. Still waiting on the points to update. But a big night for you and for your team as well. And welcome back to Victory Lane. Didn't take you long to return.
Oh my gosh, thank you. And I just like to take the time and thank quickly my sponsors, SimLab, Harpoon Design, Sam Maxwell Customs, and now Kodak, that's Codek, watches. That's right, the Watchman actually has a watch sponsor now. So excited for them.
I would say all is right in the world now.
And also my teams, NLR, they have been so amazing. Overtake and Loud Pedal Motorsports. Thank you so much for having me on board for IndyCar. Last but not least, Lionheart. Everything these guys do is so amazing. And GSRC, I love watching back your broadcasts. So incredible.
Mark, are you good with the Watchman? Is that a good nickname for you?
I love it. I love it.
Because we also came up with Food Critic tonight. Yaz wants to call you Sushi.
Yeah.
So we got a few of them going. So
we're gonna have to hem these down over the next couple.
One of these races here, Mark. If we have enough nicknames for you, you're gonna have a car going like Kevin Harvick's got at the All-Star race this weekend, where we just call your different nicknames on it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mark? It's not gonna be nearly as funny to Mark if he doesn't know.
Let's do it. Next year's All-Star race.
There we go. See? There we go. That's what I like about Mark. Team player. Mark, congratulations on the win there. A lot of fun watching you tonight. Yeah?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate everything, guys.
With that, Dustin, we caught up with Dustin here in the second spot. Dustin, I know that you wanted that win, something fierce, but I don't think you're going to be too upset with a clean second place finish where nobody hit you.
Right. Yeah. After the season I've had thus far, I am totally thrilled with this. Congrats to Mark, man. He ran a really good, hard fought, clean race. And man, that is all everybody's asking for here. So it was good. Fantastic.
I mean, tell us about that battle there at the end. I mean, we heard, through the grapevine that you and Mark had a great battle in the warm-up race last night. So how did that set the stage for how you went into tonight's race?
Well, I had to go back and examine some replay stuff after that because we were side by side for the last 40 laps, I think, during last night's practice race. And it was a matter of inches at the line every other lap. He'd lead, I'd lead. So something had to give. And I was leaving him probably a lane and a half through 1 and 2 in that practice race. And I thought to myself that I could probably get down another lane and still be way clear of him. And but it would help my speed off. And I think I was only able to pull it off a couple of times, and unfortunately couldn't do it the last time before that yellow flew. I wish that had gone differently, but was super happy for Mark. He's a swell guy, and happy to have just been clean this race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race up here in the booth. Lots of side by side battling, but most importantly, we finished up clean and green. Well, mostly green at the end of that one. Clean up front between you guys up front. So that was great. I mean, the next race we got coming up here for you guys is Pocono. I mean, tell me how you're feeling about that one.
I haven't given it a second thought. I've been so worried about getting through this one. I'm just hoping for more clean races and just let the chips fall where they may. A lot of good guys had issues tonight, and I hate that for them just as much as I hate it for myself. Everybody wants to have fun. Reckon's not fun, and hopefully it starts getting sorted out little by little, and Pocono's our next chance to do that.
Dustin, I got good news for you real quick. I'm going to jump in here. I don't know if you've seen the points, but I know you're pretty down after the last couple of weeks.
Way down.
All the way up to a tie for 6th, 5 points out of 4th. So
it's close.
And 78 out of the lead.
Ouch.
And your I don't know, but your IndyCar teammate Dan Guerin can attest that you got a lot of time left to climb back into this one, bud.
It's tough considering who all we have in this league too this year, especially just adding more and more fast guys every year, solid, consistent guys. So, man, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens for sure. I don't have very high hopes, but tonight definitely ended on a positive. I'm glad to get a clean one out of the way. So at least there's a chance.
All righty, Dustin. Well, hey, we'll catch up with you down the road, and good luck here because we get to have a lot of fun in the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah, we do. It's going to be nuts, man. And good job up in the booth. As always, look forward to watching this one back. And Thanks to GSRC. Thanks to the admins who have been killing it this whole season. And sorry again for George's luck tonight. Put it on the poll 2 weeks in a row. And that guy needs a break too. So thank you.
This is coming.
Yeah.
This is coming. It's Dustin Wardlow, second place. Let's bring in the third place finisher and his first podium of his Lionheart career, Justin Kirby. You had an adventurous last 40 laps or so there, but somehow came out of that with the third place finish. Tell us about your night.
Oh, man. It was, night was actually going pretty good until I decided to try to wreck it in the 3 there. I recovered.
Your drift moment.
Yeah. You didn't try to wreck it. No, you just put on. You knew that we were getting a little bit of a lull. Yaz and I were up here talking about beer bellies and sushi, and you were like, "Guys, watch this."
Yeah. Remind me not to do that again, because I think I'm gonna need to change after I get out of here, because that was, oh my gosh, I haven't wrecked a car like that and not wrecked, if that. But the race was really good. I didn't take tires after that happened still, because I knew how much speed loss there was the longer the tires went. So I just kept it smooth and was just trying to bide my time and let pit stops play out, and then everything kind of fell into place there about 40 to go when those first 5 came in, got their stop taken care of so they could make it to the end. Me and Mike got back into the top 6. So then it was just a matter of keeping smooth and don't let the arrow wash put you in the fence.
Take us through the incident with Big Joe there with about 20 to go.
Joe, I feel terrible about that. I mean, I know I wasn't given a penalty or anything, but I want to get everybody home, and I thought it was a racing deal, but I still feel bad being a part of that. But his restart, he didn't get a good one. He lost a bunch of time to Ryan, so I was able to get a good slingshot down into 1, shoved the nose a little bit, but I thought I held about a car width off the bottom okay. And then I saw Joe coming down too late, and I couldn't do anything to try to avoid the contact. And then I got a 4X, got a warp contact, saw him go in the wall, and I'm like, gosh darn it.
Well, Justin, it was fun watching you battle your way up there at the end. You kind of popped out of nowhere on us. So congratulations. Your first podium in the Lionheart series. Hopefully the first of many.
Yes, thanks, guys. And really appreciate the work you guys do for Lionheart and for everybody. And hopefully we can do this.
All righty. That's Justin Kirby, your third place finisher. And that's going to wrap it up for post-race interviews here, Yaz. Another exciting race in the Retro Series. Seems like all these races always come down to the last couple laps.
Oh, absolutely. And it's never over until it's over. You know, the oldest adage in racing, and I think we see it week in and week out, especially here in the Retro Series. Get a little bit of a lull, get to send them off to Pocono, which I know is going to be a nuts race.
Absolutely.
If we thought Motegi was nuts, Pocono's going to go through that.
Do love me some Pocono. Do love me Pocono. Brian, great job tonight. And we want to thank some people here as we wrap things up on the Plasma Tracks post-race show. Of course, our series sponsor this year is Butt Kicker. Remember that you can head to thebuttkicker.com and use the Lionheart promo code if you'd like to get yourself a big old 25% discount on Butt Kicker products. Lion25 is the discount code at thebuttkicker.com. Series organizer, we talk about him so much, but he does so much as George Anzaldo. Some of these great sponsors as well, because the Lionheart series, truthfully, as drivers for Yaz and I on the IndyCar side of things, we cannot do what we do and have the amount of fun that we have if it wasn't for all of these companies that you see on the screen right now that do so much for the Lionheart series. Here on the GSRC side of things, we have some great partners as well that provide us with the software that we use, as well as the music that we use, which is provided by June Lalonde. You can hear more of her great work by going to that website address on your screen right there. Got to thank the team today. Yaz, Amjad, Dougie Beard as well. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, head to globalsimracingchannel.com. also find archived races and upcoming broadcasts. We're on Twitter at GSRC Channel, Facebook /Global Sim Racing Channel. Go Bug Joe and Sean and Amjad and whoever else has access to that stuff. They haven't come up with the courage yet to let Yaz and I run those channels. We should run Twitter for one night, Yaz. How you feel about that?
No.
No, okay. All right.
It'd be good for us.
Yeah,
There'd be a whole lot of damage control the next day.
That's a good point. Yeah, next race for us here in the Retro Series. We mentioned it's the Pocono 250, presented by DMLC Racing Channel. Hey, that's Mark Cohn. Speaking
That's fitting.
That is fitting, indeed. June 13th, that is a Thursday night. Hey, the Lionheart IndyCar Series back in action next week, round 6 and 7. A doubleheader at Belle Isle in Detroit. Rip. Other great races coming up here on GSRC as well. You can check them out right here. That's going to do it. Sinbad Vapors 200 in the books. Congratulations to Mark Cohn, Dustin Wardlow, Justin Kirby on the podium. Everybody else who finished this race tonight. Sure was a great one. Until next time, remember, no matter how good or bad your race went, a day with racing is far better than a day without. Good night, everybody.